All right. Before going to Vietnam, were you drafted or did you volunteer?
I was drafted in the Army in 1966.
How old were you at the time?
19.
Did you have any friends, family members, classmates, or acquaintances who also served in Vietnam?
Yes.
Where did you receive your training?
Basic training was at Fort Benning in August of 1966, and my helicopter training was at Fort Rucker, Alabama.
Do you think it was adequate?
Yes.
Did you know anything about Vietnam as a country before the war?
No.
What were your living conditions like?
Adequate. We lived in a tent.
What was your first impression of Vietnam?
That it was truly a third world country. No running water, no flushing toilets, no sidewalks. And it was a shock to me.
Did you have any contact with your family while you were in Vietnam?
By letters.
What was your job assignment?
I was a helicopter mechanic. My job was to repair battle damaged helicopters, basically.
What was your daily routine?
We'd get up before daylight and work till after dark every day.
Did you make any close friends during the war?
Yes, I did.
What is your opinion regarding President John F. Kennedy, President Lyndon B. Johnson, President Richard M. Nixon, and President General R. Ford as Commanders-in-Chief?
President Kennedy was assassinated while I was still in high school. Lyndon Johnson was the commander-in-chief when I was in Vietnam, and he was not very popular, and the war was not very popular. Other one was Gerald Ford or Nixon. Nixon was a continuation of Lyndon Johnson, and by the time Gerald R. Ford became commander-in-chief, the war for all practical purposes was over.
What did you do for leisure?
Wrote letters home.
How would you describe your morale?
Good. I would say good. It varied from time to time. Sometimes it was worse than others, but overall my morale was good.
Did your attitude about the war change as it progressed?
Would you repeat that?
Did your attitude about the war change as it progressed?
Yes, it got worse.
Did you witness any racial discrimination within your platoon?
Yes, there was some.
How did the members of your platoon regard the Vietnamese?
We had very little contact with the Vietnamese. We worked on helicopters and at an army base, and there were no Vietnamese around, so we had very little contact with them. But go on to the next question.
What are your thoughts on how the war was handled by media outlets?
Actually, during the Vietnam War, they portrayed the war fairly accurately. Of course, the war was very unpopular, and therefore the media tended to convey that negativity.
What was the biggest challenge you experienced during the war?
Trying to get home in one piece.
After the war, did you have any difficulty reinstating into society when you returned?
Yes, I did.
Did you benefit? Oh, I'm sorry.
You know, I went from living in an army situation in a combat zone, and all of a sudden you're back in the United States where things are totally different. And yes, it was very hard to adjust back to being just a plain citizen in the United States.
Did you benefit from the GI Bill?
I did. I went to college on the GI Bill.
Did you still keep in touch with the friends you made there?
No,
Do you have any regrets?
no.
What is your view of the use of Agent Orange?
Yeah, my view is very negative. I had a cousin, a first cousin, who I believe died from his exposure to Agent Orange, and he was a infantryman and went into Cambodia, into a heavily defoliated jungle that was sprayed with Agent Orange, and he died right after the war in the 70s as a young man. So my opinion of Agent Orange is a very negative one.
Have you ever visited the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C.?
Yes, I have.
How do you feel about it?
It was a wonderful memorial to the 58,000 people who were killed in the Vietnam War. And I might add that my division, the 1st Air Cavalry Division, lost more men than any other division in the Army. Only the Marine Corps lost more men. And I forget the number, it was 3,000 and something.
Do you think that the United States won or lost the Vietnam War?
We lost the war because we quit. We quit fighting, and what we were defending was overrun by the North Vietnamese and the communists. So yes, we lost the war. That's the kind way of putting it.
Have you ever been back to Vietnam?
No,
Would you like to go back?
not really. I'm 75 years old, and there are other places in the world I would like to see. Although Vietnam is a beautiful country.
What does Veterans Day mean to you?
Just that is a day we pay tribute to our veterans.
What does Memorial Day mean to you?
That's the day we give tribute to those who gave it all in all the wars.
Were there any lessons learned that you have been able to carry throughout your life?
Yes, being tolerant of other people, being exposed to so many different people from every corner of the United States, and I learned to be tolerant of their opinions of things and to, you know, to even have different opinions.
Well, that's it. Anything you wanna add?
Um, my experience in Vietnam was, as I reflect back on it, it looks like things were happening so rapidly. It was in like in fast motion, not in slow motion, but just everything was happening so rapidly. I was glad to get back to the United States. While I was there, we moved about a good bit from one part of Vietnam to the other. We were in the Central Highlands. We moved to essentially to the northern part of Vietnam, South Vietnam, and as we moved one time from one place to the next, the Tet Offensive of 1968 broke out, and that was a very dangerous period of my tour. A lot of fighting going on very close to where we were. A lot of helicopters were shot down and damaged and that kind of stuff. And it's, I'm glad to be home.
Yeah.